Well, here we go for the finale, and it is a new name in the form of Ryan Chessery on the pole alongside Tomek Gresick, as it looks like Matt Whitburn, already clinching up this championship, has elected to go from a last to first kind of beat here. Jackson Lambros in the booth with you as we get this one teed up. And it will be, again, Chessery alongside Gresick with Whitburn, Hayward, Liam Turner, Andy Goodread, Timothy Glenading, Wade Bowler, Alessio Conti, and Steve Parks rounding out your top 10. Looking a little bit further back, you've got Arturas Jogmas, Vasai Talal, Mike Dyson, Mick Stone, and Jake Crockett. Last and 10th round here of the IFWL Pro-Ams. Let's go out swinging and let's go racing in South Africa for 40 minutes at Kylami. Green flag. Chessery trying to push Gresick up the racetrack. Gresick doing the opposite, going down low. They bang fenders. More contact. 3 different times they touch. Big dive to the inside. I think that was Paul Whitburn trying to gain a handful of positions there further back. Liam Turner going with him. And the two McLarens going forward together. Another big dive there with Glenading. One McLaren around further back. Andy Goodread collecting Wade Bowler. And that's 2 away early. Big carnage to get us started. And as we work our way to the top of the hill, it is still Ryan Chessery leading Tomek Gresick. A little bit of a dive to the inside at the top of the hill. And Chessery left that door open. Gresick able to launch down the hill. Left-handed corner here will give him the inside, but as we work towards Quarry, the script will flip. Who has the inside line? Who has the advantage? It'll set up Gresick for an over-under. Chessery off into the runoff, and that will give the lead over to Tomek Gresick. Another dive further back as Liam Turner tried to get that P3 spot from Paul Whitburn. Whitburn bought it and went very deep into the final corner. They'll go 2 abreast across the line. Another move being put away for Matt Whitburn as he's already up into P8 with a move around the outside of Steve Parks. Still not entirely sure why we can't get the sound working here as the capture card continues to give me troubles. But man, how about Matt Whitburn? Further back already. Working his way back. Up into P6 as we watch Paul Whitburn try to fend off Liam Turner with a little bit more striking distance. As here is Whitburn just passing Ryan Hayward there, as well as Alessio Conti, the pair of GTRs, which have loved to find each other on the same piece of racetrack. It's Tim Glenading currently trying to defend. Everything is breaking for me right now, chat. Oh my gosh. We'll step aside one more time to try and fix this. Stay with us. Apologies, everybody. Yeah, gang, we're unfortunately, I think, going to have to just deal with this. But I mean, we were also at the point where my camera switcher didn't want to work, my capture card was corrupting. So we're going to deal with what we've got here and focus on the race because up front, Ryan Cheshire has taken the lead back from Tomek Gresick. Paul Whitburn in third, but here comes the other Whitburn, Matt, in the 620, has already worked his way up from last to fourth as he split the McLarens and just overtook Liam Turner. Further back battle for P9 as Andy Goodereed tries to close that gap on that fellow McLaren of Steve Parks, but the two Whitburns continue to go at it, and Matt is right there. Whitburn, Paul goes middle to defend. Matt looks all the way to the inside despite Paul squeezing him as much as possible. It's Razor's Edge on the inside. They bang doors. Paul all the way up into the runoff and through Fangs Up driving. Matt works his way from last all the way into the podium. Can he close that 4-second gap to Tomek Gresick? And that will immediately allow Liam Turner to get within striking distance for round 2 of the Whitburn v. Turner battle. Further back, Wade Bowler trying to work his way forward as well, just clearing Jogmas for P11. As here we go, top of the hill. Turner a little bit late on the brakes as he tries to run a later apex to launch down the hill. Andy Goodereed going to be the first stop of the day. Wade Bowler improving up to P11 as believe the Latvian, if I remember that flag correctly, Arturas Jogmas continues to give him chase. He was way back down in 16th, but has recovered. Up ahead, Tomek Gresick has dropped that gap from 2 seconds to about 1.5. Big slide there coming out of the top of the hill as he tries to close that gap. And Paul Whitburn has recovered from that major battle with his brother, as that duo works down the hill. And we start to reach the halfway point here. Fastest lap of the day so far. Not too much of a shocker, as it's Matt Whitburn with 141.212. About what Cheshire is doing right now with a 141.065 out in front. And as I say that, of course, Matt does another fastest lap at a 40.030. That gap could possibly be going down. Although when you realize how far Matt has traveled from the back of the pack to the front, maybe it's not too much of a shocker to realize that he is an entire second up from the field in pace. Three seconds the gap right now between Cheshire and Whitburn. And more trouble for Wade Bowler. They beat Chelsea this morning, but the 23 was not able to beat that curbing on the outside of turn 4. Was able to get it going again relatively quickly, and he is still in P10. 3.5 the gap. First and second not coming in. Whitburn promoted to third as a result of that. Liam Turner now coming in from fourth. Hayward staying out as well. Liam Turner and Tyler Glenading coming up to pit now. Tomek Gresick, the pole, still the quickest one on track. Or should I say furthest up on track, two have pitted, followed by Goodread, Parks, and Jogmas. We'll see how that blend is with Turner. It's not looking great as Liam just now gets into the box. Last lap by a 41.070 from Cheshire. Whitburn, a 140.527. And slowly but surely, Matt continues to reel him in. Conti coming in this time by, and Tyler Glenading able to successfully leapfrog Liam Turner in the pits. And that will be, I believe, fifth provisionally. Both Pasai Talal, the Saudi, and Alessio Conti, the Italian, now coming into the pits. 2.8 seconds the gap now between your leaders. Lap traffic could be a factor up ahead as Dyson and Stone start to come into view. But in a handful of laps, that gap has gone rapidly from 4 seconds now just down to 2. And that's a stop-go 30 for Conti. Oh my goodness, another pit lane speed violation for the 21. And both your leaders are going to elect to come in at the same time. This is interesting. You could argue that Whitburn maybe still had the pace. in that 620, but he elects to come in on the exact same lap as his leader. So now Hayward will be promoted to your race leader with Jake Cockett actually now getting the ability to get a few positions up as well. Both drivers still to pit though. And if Cockett doesn't come in, he will be the last car to not come into the box. And he does. Actually might have got that quick stop there from Whitburn. Was a little bit off, and that actually might have given a little bit more breathing room to Chessery. Here comes Turner and Glenading as well. So Chessery promoted to the leader. Tomek Kresic now out in front. Just a second up. So the undercut actually working there for Tomek Kresic as he works his way back in front of both Chessery and Whitburn. 1.8 seconds the gap now between Matt and Ryan. Here's Liam Turner with a look to the outside at the top of the hill, trying to clear Glenading. He has to go the long way around. If he can keep that momentum, it could become a switchback. But Glenading drags him all the way to the outside. Turner still with good momentum. Can he peek to the inside? He goes high at Quarry Corner. He keeps setting up for an over-under, but Glenading defends so well, parking the bus on the apex. Good momentum there for Turner at the top of the hill, but that final sector, it was Blockapalooza from that BMW. It'll be good momentum again here. And you look further back, that's Ryan Hayward who actually emerges out P5 just in front of these two. So this becomes a 3-car battle all of a sudden for P5. Turner with a major cut on the inside of the curbing there, out of turn 6. Through the long right-hander of Carousel. No real estate to get that move done. But Glenading late to the apex. Turner tries to hang and dive into turn number 9. He'll get there. Swiftly taken. And Liam Turner able to snatch P6 from Glenading. We might not be out of the woods yet over here, because that BMW still has plenty of pace as both of these boys try and close that gap to Hayward and P5. Ooh, big look to the inside in Quarry Corner. Straight as you like on the brakes there from Glenading. Thought about a dive into Quarry. The door was wide open, but it would have taken a biblical send on the brakes there. Turner going middle, now dragging high to defend. 2 seconds the gap from them to Hayward, as the pace is actually in favor of the GTR for the time being. He is starting to peel away from this 2-pack. But out in front, it is continuing to get spicy. Gresic still with the lead, but all 3 cars within 2 seconds of one another on your screen here. Gressick started P2, took the lead quickly with the dive to the inside of Cheshire, and they were trading back and forth for a while. That's a bold line from Cheshire further back, almost dropping a wheel in the grass. That would have been Spin City if he wasn't careful. But the newcomer in the 343 knows the limits of that Mustang, and he is using them to a T. Whitburn goes a little bit wide there through Paddock as he tries to catch him. Cheshire has the straight line in that purple Mustang. Can he use it for a turn one move? Half a second, the gap between Gressick and Cheshire. And all of a sudden, Whitburn is just biding his time further back. Now about a second off. You got to reckon he's just waiting for the opportunity when these two get their fangs out to battle. Could we see a move from Whitburn? Now he starts to get the pace going. Prime opportunity to overtake. Don't think Cheshire is close enough, though, to make a move. You can see all these guys not even touching that apex in the first half of that hill corner. It's high. It'll knock you off camber. And you so want to favor the late apex there. Further back, Liam Turner has reached Ryan Hayward in that GTR, fully clearing a second and a half off Tyler Glenading. And the battle for fifth starts to come to life. One of the best exits we've seen here for Cheshire was all the way to the bumper, but had to almost get off throttle to not make contact with Gressick. And now Whitburn is right there as well. Three-way battle for the lead. A little bit of a wiggle on the outside here. Are we going to see the hang and dive again that we saw earlier for Liam Turner? Not quite yet, but Whitburn has a phenomenal exit. He is all over the six taillights of that Ford Mustang. And you start to feel like the move is a matter of when and not if. Past the 10-minute mark here for the finale at Kylami. This entire field within a second of one another. This entire three-pack, should I say. And Matt Whitburn from the back of the pack tries to work his way to the front. Takes P2. Now Cheshire gonna try and make a move. He makes contact getting into the tail of Gressick. The black McLaren of Gressick able to keep it together. He goes wide through Paddock Hill. So does Cheshire and Whitburn. Out of the final corner, and we'll stay clean and green. But this entire field within striking distance of one another. On the straightaway, here comes Whitburn with a beak to the inside. Looks to the inside. Cheshire flicks down low to defend. And we will all hold our positions through the first corner. That's exactly what Gressick needed there to give himself a little bit of cushion to hold that lead. The more those two battle behind, the more Gressick could be able to peel ahead. It is getting very close here between these three. To the point where we have seen guys using their bumpers. Genuinely a three-cart conga line using the helicam. You can see how close these guys are on apexes, on braking points, on corner speed. It is truly nip and tuck. Another prime opportunity to overtake here. As we work our way down the hill towards Corey. This is brilliant. Oh, further back, Cheshire went wide. Oh my goodness. Cheshire goes wide and drops down to P3. Whitburn goes up to P2. Lap traffic getting out of the way, and now Whitburn with a phenomenal run. What a battle. Here's the replay. And was there contact for Whitburn? What happened there? Whitburn getting on the sausage curbs on the inside. Excuse me. Cheshire flipping that sausage curb on the inside and getting spat out into the sand. So we'll drop down to P3 and is now a second off from your trio. Here comes Whitburn for the lead on the outside. Tries to go the long way around. Walking in the tight ropes, in the grass, in the marbles. Able to hold that momentum, and we're too wide coming up the hill. Can he hold the inside line? It's high speed. He touches with Gressick, and Matt Whitburn from last works his way in a monster truck move to the front. Here comes Cheshire into the top of the hill. Tried a lunge there to get Gressick while he was down, but couldn't get it done. Can either of these guys catch Whitburn with 5 to go? Or with clean air for the first time, is Matt Whitburn in the 620 just going to take off? Still half a second the gap right now between Gressick and Whitburn. Cheshire just a second further back, recovering from that dive earlier on. Let's jump back really quickly to Arturas Jogmas as he battles with Fasai Talal. These two bumper to bumper for the past 15 minutes or so. This is your battle for P9. Talal having to defend middle there in the final corner. That will give a good opportunity for Jogmas. Covering the dive on the inside. That allows a wider arc on exit for Jogmas. And not even allow Falal or Fasai Talal to defend down low. He's there before they're even on the brakes, and Jogmas works his way into P9. Talal further back is keeping Jogminas relatively close here. Whitburn starting to kick in the burners here, as now the battle for the bottom spot of the podium comes back to life, with Cheshire trying to take P2 back from Gressick. Bilal dropping back, and now Steve Parks in that McLaren further back wants to take 10th away in the Punisher. Cheshire still within half a second of that Macca just in front. Is there enough there? Liam Turner in that 6th place McLaren is continuing to close that gap to Hayward. Was at about a second now as we see the white flag. And the pace started to go back to Ryan. We'll see if in this last lap we can get a move. But Matt Whitburn has no pressure out in front. The question is, can Cheshire take P2 from Gressick at the buzzer? Last main opportunity here at the top of the corner. It might not be enough. But for Matt Whitburn, your Pro-Am champion, been a lot of wins, but there hasn't been one quite like this season. Out of 14 for the final time. And your Season 3 Pro-Am champion goes from last to first in South America and wins at Kylami. Further back a drag race to the line. But Gressick able to win that duel over Cheshire. For your podium, Paul Whitburn to the line. And oh my goodness, Ryan Hayward at the last moment will take himself out at the final corner. Liam Turner gonna come home in P5. What has happened to Ryan Hayward? Was there contact or was that self-induced? Here he is out of Corey. Was this lap traffic a reason? It was. The slightest of tags and he went careening off into the Armco. Hayward able to come home in P6. Goodread 7th. Jogminas 8th. with Talal coming home in 9th. Oh my goodness. Hollywood finish. And Jagmenis just barely able to fend off from Fasai Talal for P9 and 10. What a phenomenal way to end this season. And Matt Whitburn in that purple NSX, one of the best drives you will ever see. And that will be all she wrote for the race and for the season. Huge thank you to everyone. Whether it's you at home for watching all of our affiliates at Fanatec, Moza Racing, Abruzzi Raceware, CD Keys, and Trophy.ai, as well as G Portal. And for all of the racers coming out every single Sunday night for making this happen. Time for us to put it away for now. And for me to say thank you for everybody tuning in to watch and for letting me tell your stories. For everybody at IFWL, I'm Jackson Lambros saying thank you so much for watching. We'll see you down the road.